Israel hit Damascus with powerful airstrikes on Wednesday, ostensibly to protect Syria's Druze minority, which has borne the brunt of ongoing sectarian clashes in the country. We will not allow the terrorist regime of radical Islam in Syria to harm the Druze. We are committed to our Druze brothers in Israel to do everything to prevent harm to their Druze brothers in Syria, an official Israeli statement said. But who are the Druze? Why does Israel want to protect them? What happens next? Let's find out. The Druze, also known as Banu Maruf, meaning the righteous people, are an Arabic-speaking ethno-religious minority native to the Levant. Although their faith evolved from Ismaili Shi'ism, most Druze do not identify as Muslim, and Orthodox Islamists often view them as heretical. Their belief in reincarnation, the deification of Fatimid ruler al-Hakim, and the elevated status of Druze women set them apart from traditional Islamic teachings. Conversion is strictly forbidden, both into and out of the Druze faith, and most practices are kept secret, known only to a religious elite called the Uqal. Since emerging in the 11th century, the Druze have been a persecuted minority. Today, there are about 500,000 Druze in Syria, 250,000 in Lebanon, and over 150,000 in Israel, including in the Golan Heights. Most live near the Syria-Lebanon-Israel border.
The Druze are kind of our special, I don't want to say our special minority, but in a sense, they were the special minority. They were the minority that embraced us. And so from the Zionist perspective, the Druze were really friendly and helpful, and they deserved support in return. And I think that it wasn't just about support. It was about the idea that the Druze believe in any place they live, they should show patriotism and loyalty to their own state. Around 1,000 Druze have crossed over from the area near Majd al-Shams, which is in the northern part of the Golan Heights, into the Syrian side. And that is an extraordinary number. I don't know of any time in Israeli history where they allowed any Israeli citizens to go into another country on their own with their own guns or whatever they have and start some kind of armed conflict. It's just unprecedented.
However, Druze have been fighting a defensive war against Sunni extremist groups, especially during Syrian war. While the Druze community's views on Syria's former president Bashar al-Assad varied, in practice, these militias and the now-deposed dictator aligned in their war goals. Both were fighting defensive battles against a common enemy. But since Assad's ouster last December, the Druze have faced increasing threats from the new Islamist regime led by Ahmed al-Sharaa, a former al-Nusra commander. In recent months, Druze fighters in southern Syria have clashed with both Sunni Bedouin militias and troops loyal to the Damascus government. The Salafi jihadist al-Nusra Front of Ahmed al-Sharaa, Syria's current leader, fought not only al-Assad but also the Druze. In 2015, al-Nusra massacred at least 20 Druze villagers in the Idlib province. When Syria's current interim president al-Sharaa's army began a crackdown on Druze fighters in the city of Suwaida, Israel responded with airstrikes on Damascus.
So after the 1967 and 73 war, Israel took over the Golan Heights, the occupied Golan Heights, which includes 4 cities of Druze, and they stayed in the Golan Heights while most of the other occupants of the Golan Heights fled back into Syria. And the Druze have their own religion, and it's also kind of an ethno-religion because they intermarry amongst themselves. And they're spread out between 4 countries, the Lebanon, Syria, Israel, and Jordan. The Israeli Druze and the Druze in Syria do have long and close ties. Certainly the Golan Heights Druze on the Israeli side, if you want to call it the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights, have very close ties to the Syrian Druze because many of them actually have intermarried and traveled back and forth back when there were better ties with Syria, or back during the Assad regime. Some of the Druze from the Golan Heights even went to study in Syria and like Damascus University and places like that.
Now Israel's official position? To protect the Druze, both as a minority under attack and as close allies of the Israeli state. But there's a strategic reason too. Israel wants to keep southern Syria demilitarized, fearing Islamist militias near its northern borders. And it's not just geopolitical. The Druze community in Israel, highly integrated in the military and bureaucracy, has been pressuring Tel Aviv to intervene. The strikes mark Israel's most significant military move since the Syrian regime change. But they also come during ongoing back-channel talks between Israel and Syria, brokered in part by the United States. Sources suggest that al-Shura may be pulling troops out of southern Syria under Washington's pressure. Syria's interim president Ahmed al-Shura clearly stated that protecting Druze citizens and their rights is Syria's priority, while addressing Druze citizens. Still, this episode could derail any progress toward an Israel-Syria diplomatic thaw. For now, Israel's message is clear. It will act, militarily if needed, to defend its Druze allies and secure its borders. But for Syria, still recovering from 14 years of civil war, this latest blow raises fresh questions about its future.